Good morning. It is day 120 and 1:30, and I am heading over to the lobby to get a little bit of breakfast at the O'Connell Lodge, and then we're going to go ahead and get our resupply taken care of. We had quite a storm last night, so I'm glad we skirted that and stayed at the hotel. Okay, let's see what's here. Hello. They don't serve breakfast except for on the weekends, so I think there's a little breakfast place next door. I'm gonna go and see if they serve breakfast and see if I can order a couple of breakfast sandwiches for us. Heading into Bob's Diner. There's a one-hit wonder. Now that is a breakfast of champions. We're still sitting at the diner trying to map out our next 4 days so we can figure out what our resupply is. Then we're going to stay at my friend Dawn's family's cabin. And then from there, we're going to Dartmouth, where we'll see Kevin. So Kevin Campbell, she coaches volleyball there. So we are getting excited. That would be the end of this map. And then we go into New Hampshire. Happening so fast. I'm heading to the front office to see if he'll give us a later checkout and see if he is ready to take us grocery shopping. So fingers crossed. Okay, we are getting ready to get started. It is 2:07 and we are at 10 miles today. So I'm thinking we'll probably get to camp around 7 o'clock. And then we'll be able to set up and get things taken care of before dark. Check out my new visor. Our grocery store is right next to TJ Maxx, so went in there and bought a visor. I also bought some new inserts to hold me over until I get to Dawn's house. They are already hurting my feet, but I'm hoping that maybe once they get warmed up, they'll reform to my foot and help me out. Hard to believe it's already been 130 days and I just feel like it's gonna fly by from here on out. I know it's gonna get tough, but like Tin Cup says, we're hiking machines. We'll see. Either way, we're gonna make it, whether machines or not, because we're gonna do it one step at a time. I love these kind of water crossings. Oh, that's beautiful. We are headed towards Bromley Mountain, and that will be our first mountain of the day. So we have been going over these rocks, and we've had a couple water crossings that have been really pretty. Clean, cold water going right over them. And it's at the beginning of our trek today, so we don't really need water. So that kind of stinks. But hopefully we'll have some good water sources later on in our hike. We have 1 mile to the summit, and it's been a nice climb so far. Definitely making me breathe and get my heart rate up, but that's to be expected because it happens every time I climb. So I wanted to bring you guys along on my shopping spree for my resupply, but we were running short on time, so it's kind of a frantic shop. We just pulled over on Blue Blaze to the Vista, and you can see Summit or Stratton Mountain from here, which is one of the mountains we conquered the other day. Look at that. Okay, so that mountain that's bigger than all the rest, that's Stratton Mountain. We beat that beast the other day. It blows my mind when I look out at that Stratton Mountain to think that we were climbing that just the other day, and it's that far away from us, and it was that high. It's crazy. We have about 0.7 to get to the top of Bromley, and so I think once we do that, we head down to the campsite. It's still going to be several miles because we have 10 to go from the beginning of today. So I think this will probably just be, I don't know for sure, but maybe like 3 miles, and then we'll have 7 miles to go. So, but there's some really nice reviews about the campsite and it being on a lake. So I'm looking forward to that. I just hope we can get up and get moving tomorrow morning before the rain comes. Just came out of the forest. We have 0.3 to get to the top, and we're out of the woods for a little bit. Little change of pace. So, what do you guys think of my visor? Hopefully this one will stick with me for a while, like through the whole rest of this trip. This is my third hat. First one I sent home was the one that I put my mom's angel on, but the bill was wonky for those of you guys that were with me from the beginning. And then the second one I really liked was the outdoor research hat, and it came unclipped and I lost it. And so I bought this one today at TJ Maxx, and hopefully it will stay with me through the summit. Look at that view behind me. We're still climbing. Almost to the top. Look at that. Wow. Unbelievable. We made it to the top. Now we're gonna climb that bad boy. Look at this 360. This is such a cool area. I love the piney, evergreen type forest and all the moss that you see. Not to mention that pine is such a cool scent. We'll be climbing up to another peak pretty soon. We spent a little bit of time at the top of that summit, Mount Bromley. It was so beautiful up there. I don't know that the pictures of the video will do them justice, but I hope so. Look at those rocks are all over the place. It's granite, right? We're headed Stiles Peak. It's 5 o'clock. And we still got miles to walk. This has been one butt kicker of a climb to Stiles Peak. It has been non-stop up, and it has kicked my butt. But we are 0.1 from the top. And phew, cannot wait. This is giving my legs a run for their money. This is mild right here. And we've been going at a pretty good clip, so I just decided to slow down a bit so I could videotape. And muddy. The side of my legs are muddy from my feet kicking my other leg. But it's all good because we got one more peak conquered. We made it to the top of Stiles Peaks, and it was a climb for sure. So, but we did it. Look at how green everything is. We just had a pretty good decline on a bunch of rocks. It was wet, but at least it wasn't raining. And I go pretty slow on the big downs because my knees just don't like them. So they don't really hurt, but I don't like taking big steps, and I don't like hitting the ground hard. We are getting ready to finish our last climb for the day, and then we have like 1.6 or 1.7 to get to the shelter. We're going to stay at the shelter instead of the campsite because of the rain coming in. But my trekking pole just got stuck in the mud, and when I went to pull it out, the doggone thing separated again. So I don't know if I'm going to start having problems with that again or not, but I sure hope not. So it's the first time it's happened since I got that replacement part. I think I got it at Open Arms Hostel. But I don't know. We shall see. If I have to get new trekking poles, then I'll get new trekking poles. But hopefully, they won't do it unless they get really stuck like that. So I was fearing that might happen because they've been getting stuck in the mud pretty good, and I've had to yank them pretty hard to get out of there. But if I do, I won't get this brand again. I'll try to get something else. Neither one of the other girls have had any problems with it. So maybe I'll see what they have and get their brand, if I keep on having that issue again. All right, I gotta get through this muddy mess. We think these are moose pellets. You agree or disagree? It is 7:13, and you can definitely tell that we're getting further along and closer to the fall because it's starting to get, it's not dark, but it's got a darkness to it. But we are getting ready to go into Peru Peak Wilderness, and our shelter is 0.3 from here. So once we get there, we're hoping that we're going to stay in the shelter. But I was thinking as we were moving along here that now we just don't have northbounders that we have to consider in this space, but southbounders are coming. And so both hikers going both ways are going to be wanting shelter space on stormy days. So there might be a little bit of a overflow there. And so hopefully we will have room to get in there tonight. We're getting to the shelter later than normal, so there's a chance that there won't be any room for us. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed and pray that there's room for us, because I think it's going to start raining early in the morning and like before we get up and start moving. So it'd be nice to have all of our stuff dry and have our pack covers on when we get started tomorrow. So I'm ready to take my shoes off. It would be wonderful if there was a stream that had enough water for me to soak my feet. The pain in my feet isn't like muscle, bone, tendon. It's skin pain. So it's not anything that's, going to stop me or anything. It's just annoying. So I even feel foolish complaining about it, but it's uncomfortable. And I had it nailed down for a while. And then all of a sudden, when you get new shoes and you get new inserts, everything goes wonky. But hopefully it'll get dialed in and they'll start feeling good again. So I can just pay attention to the other stuff. I try not to put too much thought into them, but sometimes every step just is uncomfortable. And it's just the way it is. So I do look forward to putting my sandals on at the end of the day and during lunch. I always take them off. Well, I do my best to take them off during lunch too. So, all right. Oops, I better pay attention to where I'm going. Okay, we finally arrived at the Peru Peak shelter. And I believe we do have a bear box and a picnic table. And there should be a stream in front of the shelter, which means that I might be able to soak my feet. It's perfect.